Okay, so I'm going to be talking about It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm going to speak on symbolism, and this can be used in both prose and screenwriting. This is a film I use in my class. It's a very rich film. It's very, the breadth of the film from a teaching point of view is just amazing. But I'm going to talk about one specific aspect of symbolism or metaphor of water and how it appears in its various forms within this movie. But again, there's so much depth to this movie. I can talk about exposition, character names, other symbolism. For example, Clarence Oddbody is an angel without wings, using names to help give other dimensions to the characters. But again, I'm going to speak about just one little aspect of symbolism of water in It's a Wonderful Life. And I hope you'll be surprised. For those of you who have seen the movie, you'll be a little bit surprised quickly. It's a Wonderful Life is a 1946 film by legendary director Frank Capra. It's a 130-minute film based on a 4,100-word or 16-page short story called The Greatest Gift, written by Philip Van Dorn Stern. It received mixed reviews when it came out. It didn't make much money. It barely broke even. And the budget was about $3 million, and it made about $3.3 million. So, again, it's part of our American culture now, especially around the holidays. But stick with me, and we'll go over this one little sliver into It's a Wonderful Life. So in this first scene, you have George's baby brother, Harry, sledding down onto water in the form of ice. And he breaks through. So the water in this scene is a solid form of ice, which represents a veil between life and death. So George jumps through the ice into the freezing water to save his brother. In the next scene, George is at Harry's high school graduation party. And in this scene, the pool opens up, the floor opens up, revealing a pool underneath. Now the floor could represent George's life. You know, he has the minute he came in contact with Mary, the life he wanted moved away, and he is stuck on the other side with the life he's going to have with Mary. And then the water in this scene is the pool, and this is kind of pretty clear that they're quote-unquote taking the plunge, or going to take the plunge. So it's foreshadowing. In the next scene, they're getting married, and it's raining out. And rain, traditionally, historically, has been representative of a baptism, or a rebirth, or a renewal. So in this scene, George and Mary are kind of being renewed as one. They're starting their life over. So he went from a bachelor to a married man. The water continues on in the next scene. Same rain, but it's also the crash of the stock market. So the water in this scene, in the form of rain, which is the same day as his wedding, is really just an image to help show how gloomy things are with the crash of the market. So this next scene, it's the same day, it's the wedding day, and George goes home to find Mary at their new house. Now, I believe the water in this scene represents washing away the old and bringing in the new, and that being the house. Mary's always liked this house. George has never really liked it, but the rain is going to represent a renewal of the house, washing away the old. The next scene, water, it's snowing out, which represents George's world he's in, but also the water of the flowing river. Once he dives in that river, he goes on the quintessential hero's journey, going from this world into the heavenly realm, where he can interact with Clarence Oddbody. And as they're drying, Clarence gives him his wish, and that snow, representative of George's world, stops. So he kind of has one foot in the heavenly world, one foot in the secular world, and Clarence grants him his wish, and he completely is removed from the secular world.
Get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Get me back
Now the final scene that has water in the form of snow is when George is at the bridge at the very end, when he wants his life back. He goes from the, he calls out and the snow starts to fall as if a curtain is lowered, and he then steps from the sacred, the heavenly realm, back into the secular realm. So I'm going to play that scene again, and clearly, like I said, the snow represents George going from the sacred, the heavenly realm, back to the secular. But pay close attention, because this is the Reformed theologian in me, but he's calling out to Clarence, and nothing happens. But the minute he mentions God, it immediately starts to snow again, and then he's transported back to the life, or his prayer is then answered. And keep in mind, as Bert is coming up in the car, the snow hasn't fallen yet. So I have a theory that the Bert that's approaching him on the bridge is the Bert from the alternative universe, the one that's out to get him. But the minute it starts snowing, he gets transformed back to the Bert that George Bailey knows. Again, that's just a theory of mine, but take a look at it one more time.
Clarence! Help me, Clarence! Get me back! Get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Get me back to my wife and kids! Help me, Clarence, please! Please! I want to live again! I want to live again! I want to live again. Please, God, let me live again. Hey, George! George! You all right? Hey, what's the matter? Now get out of here, Bert, or I'll hit you again. Get out of here. What the Sam Hill you yelling for, George? George. Bert, do you know me? Know you? You kidding? I've been looking all over town trying to find you. I saw your car piled into that tree down there, and I thought maybe you... Hey, your mouth's bleeding. Are you sure you're all right? What you... My mouth's bleeding, Bert! My mouth's bleeding! Zuzu pedals. Zuzu... There they are! Bert! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas! Well, Merry Christmas!
Well, thank you for watching, and again, that's just one little aspect of this movie that I teach on in my class. There's so much more depth to this movie, whether it's names, clothing, vehicles, and just something that's above and beyond just dialogue. So I'm hoping that you can pull something away from this, that it can be used in prose as well as screenwriting. And for those of you who like It's a Wonderful Life, I'm going to put 2 links below to my 2 holiday stories I wrote. One's The Grotto Under the Tree. It's a young adult fantasy that takes place at Christmas time. And the other one's a screenplay I'm marketing with my agent, Pierre Rumpf, and it's called Nicky and the Saint, A Christmas Story. So if you're interested, take a look at those links. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please share.